It is the 1st of July. This is Rabbi Furst, Mishnah Berurah.
Of the wedding, they would build a special wedding hall, and that was what they were talking about building over here.
Oh, Chanut is wedding.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chanut, right? Exactly.
Okay, good. Obinyan shel tziur v'chinur. For a building of tziur. Is that like a concert hall or something?
Well, tziur would be to make decorations. They would want to like, let's say you want to panel your house, or you want to put up wallpaper or something like that. Yeah, that's what people still use wallpaper. Is that still popular? Wallpaper?
Well, back in the States, we had wallpaper in some of our rooms.
Well, we did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think people don't seem to do it here too much in Israel, do they? Huh?
No.
Might not work on stone as well as it does on drywall.
That's true. That's true. And paneling also. I don't see paneling around here too much either.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what we're talking about. It's things like that. Like you don't really need the house panel. You don't need really have to have the house wallpaper. It adds to the nicety of the house, but it's something which is really superficial and unnecessary.
Okay. Uveniti'a shel simcha.
The tia is planting.
Oh yeah, planting for joy.
Right, that would be like landscaping. You simply want to re-landscape your home.
Okay. Well, hopefully
you contact your gardener Jose, and say, Jose, come on down here. I want to talk about re-landscaping. Nice.
We're doing that right now.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully you can water your flowers though. I've been doing that. We have a lot of.
Yeah, that's not considered to be what we're talking about here during the 9 days. Yeah.
So you really shouldn't plant seeds either, then I guess.
Depending what's going to be. Well, it could be. The tias usually is whether that is going to be actually the seeds or if you're planting the saplings. That might be a difference in consideration. You don't get really much by planting the seeds. You don't get too much joy out of it. In fact, it's probably a lot of tircha. Once you plant the seeds, you got to water it regularly, and so,
right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Kigon, for example, Av Niki shel Melachim. Is that a type of flower for the king?
Yeah, that's like they had these gardens which they would plant for the royalty. The very elaborate gardens that you would see if you take a look at all the all the different castles and palaces and things like this. They also were very elaborate in their planting of gardens.
Okay.
Actually, we see from Megillus Esther, if you remember when the second time that Esther had the Mishnah with Achashverosh and Haman. So after Haman was exposed by Esther, so Achashverosh got up and he went to walk in his garden, right?
Oh, right.
Remember? Yeah. And if you remember, the Medrash says that Kadosh Baruch Hu sent Malachim and they started ripping up all the trees, right? And he got very angry because he says, "Who's ripping up all the trees in my garden?" And they said, "Haman's ripping up all the trees." You get him even more angry at Haman. Haman was a very good friend of Achashverosh. Achashverosh was having a very hard time, a very big dilemma, deciding what to do with Haman, because Haman was his very best friend. You know, they always used to play poker and go bowling and billiards and all that stuff. Go fox hunting together, all that stuff. So he was about to lose his best friend over here. So Kadosh Baruch Hu had to make it more easier for him to order him to be hung, because
Right.
he wasn't normally going to do it. So he had the Malachim come and start ripping up the trees from his garden.
Okay. She'notim letzel lehistofef b'tzilo. Okay, so planting for shade, I guess. Sale.
Right.
Lehistofef. Not sure what lehistofef is.
That that they would be to stone faith with Silo, that they planted these certain trees that they would offer them shade, that they would relax in the shade of these trees.
Oh, relax in its shade. Oh, okay. 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 Minei hadas uminei ohalim. Okay, so types of hadas or myrtle, and types of not sure what ohalim are. Must be a type of tree though.
That they have many hadas. These are like well, we know hadas from Sukkot, right?
Right.
Hadas is really it comes comes from the hedges. They're the hedge plants that they are.
Oh, okay.
You know, yeah. So you want to plant these hedges.
Okay. Minei ohel. Oh, ohel is like a tent, I guess. I guess
Right.
a regular tree, I guess.
Right.
They look like a tent.
Right.
Okay. Ve'im haya chatlo notel lipo. And if it's was a wall, notel lipo.
And let's say you have a wall which is leaning and liable to fall down.
Oh, leaning. Okay.
Night is leaning to fall.
Okay. Afal pi shehu shel simcha mutar livnot. Okay. Even though that it's could be of joy, it's permitted to construct it.
Right, because
or fix it.
You're getting joy out of building the wall?
No, the wall is something which is not necessary. It's not a wall which is necessary for the safety and the shelter that's afforded by the property or the house. It's simply a wall which was made out of the necessity of enjoyment, for pleasure and relaxation, right?
Right.
Let's say, for example, let's say you have a wall around a tennis court, yeah, right. So to build that wall during the 9 days, that would be forbidden, because it's a wall which is simply for pleasure and relaxation, right? But if that wall is leaning and it's about to fall, could crumble. So since it's a sakana, it's dangerous. Even though the wall itself is only made for the sake of pleasure and relaxation, you can still fix that wall, because you're not doing it for the sake of the pleasure and relaxation that it affords. You're doing it to simply remove the possibility of danger.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. Tzorech mitzvah hakol sharei.
So,
For the need of all or of a mitzvah, all is permitted, I guess.
right. So let's say if the rabbi says you must have a tennis court, right? The rabbi said you've got to have a tennis court. right? So you say, well, it's not going to be sneeze. The women are going to be out there in their tennis outfits, and the men are going to be watching the women playing tennis. So he says, you got to build a wall. So you got to build a wall. So you got to have a tennis court, and you have to have a wall, right? The women's auxiliary want to have a tennis court, so we want to give them what they like. So, so if it's mutter to build for the sake of a mitzvah. So you can do it during even the 9 days.
Okay. The ein nosim nashim. You can't marry a woman. The ein osin sudat erusin. You can't have the meal of erusin. Aval le'ares below suda mutar. Oh, it sounds like you can propose, I guess.
Yeah, you can make an engagement to actually get married during the 9 days. We don't do that, but to make an engagement that you can do.
Okay. Without
You can have a party without food?
Yeah, sure. We'll see in the Mishnah. We'll discuss these things, right? That'll be discussed.
Okay. Going on. Ba'afilu b'tisha b'av atzmo utar. Oh, and even on Tisha B'av, it's permitted.
Right? If you finally you finally corner that girl you've been waiting to pop the question, right? And she finally says yes. So even on Tisha B'av, you can make an iteration.
Wow. Shalo yikadnenu acher.
Oh, why is that? That you don't want somebody else to come and grab her first. You want to get her. You want to get her to marry you. So when she finally said yes, right, you can go straight ahead and get the Yerushin done and taken care of, because you don't want anybody to come and get her instead of you.
Wow.
So even on Tisha B'av, right? Even on Tisha B'av, you can have a Yerushin. Not see again. You have to do it with a certain restraint. Obviously, obviously, you're not going to be serving food. But to make the official announcement and whatever other facets go into the actual ceremony of the engagement, so that can be done to the extent that the laws of Tisha B'av allow. So we'll go into some of those details.
Okay. Chaga, the Ramah. V'nohagin lehachmir she'enosin miyudzayin b'tamuz of elach ad achar Tisha B'av. And it's a practice to be strict, according to the Ramah, that there are no weddings from Yud Zayin Tammuz until the day after, I guess, Tisha B'av.
Right.
Okay. So that means even on the 10th of Tisha B'av, one could have a wedding?
Yeah, that apparently is true. That so yeah, the 10th, whether it,
I hear
again,
you, Rabbi.
is it better?
Yes.
But there are certain laws and customs which extend to the to Moitzi Tisha B'av and to the 10th during the day, at least until Chatzos. So as to whether or not it's proper to actually have a wedding on the morning or the night of Motzi Tisha B'av, we'll have to see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So let's do some Mishnah Berurah. This was Bet. So we have to go back a page. Okay. So the Mishnah Berurah, Mima'atim b'masa umatan. Okay, so we should lessen our business activities. Yesh min Haposkim.
I'm not with you. Where are you in the Mishnah Berurah?
Oh, back in the Mishnah Berurah, in the lower part, it's bet, and then next to it is a Yud Aleph.
That's,
Yeah, bet.
got
It's
it.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so mima'atin v'masau matan. So one should lessen their business activity. Yesh min haposkim t'svira lehuda hainu shelo yisa masa umatan shel simcha. Okay. So yesh mean that there is from the poskim that they hold that you should not have business activities, especially relating to simcha.
Right.
Okay. Kigon liknot klei kesef. One example is to build is that a treasure vault or klei kesef?
Clay Kesef, that's to do business with silver goods, meaning he's selling silver items.
Oh, that's interesting.
So again, there's buying and selling of things which are not really necessities. Obviously, any business activities which are needed for necessities, that should obviously be permissible. So the question is, what type of activities are we forbidding here? What type of business activities are we talking about that should be reduced during the 9 days?
Right, because, for example, a jeweler might have business activities with non-Jews also during that period.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, are you only required to reduce your activities with Jews, or can business be as normal with non-Jews? That's a very good point you mentioned there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it says, O tzarchei chuppah uvadome. Okay, and also for the needs of the wedding, I guess, and
Right.
similarly.
Right. So these kind of things you should really be refraining from during these 9 days.
Okay. Aval stam masa umatan ein tzarich l'ma'et klal.
Oh, right. So, but regular business dealings, there's no need to reduce at all. Meaning, you're not obligated to close your store, to cut down your business hours, to refrain from doing your normal business. You're not required to suffer financial loss because of the 9 days.
Okay, very good.
If you happen to be in the wedding business, so obviously depends who and what you're doing. For example, we'll see about music. We'll see about what's forbidden for music. So let's say a person's a musician, right? He plays at weddings. So for us, the Ashkenazi, we start not listening to music from the Tainus, which was earlier this week. The Sephardim, they start from Rosh Chodesh or Rosh Hashanah, and they can actually, the Sephardim can have weddings as well. So the question is asked, what about Ashkenaz? He's a drum player, right, or as a musician, and Sephardim would like him to play at their chasana. So even though it's also for him, and there are no Ashkenazi weddings, but so Sephardim can have, and he actually can play during the time up until Rosh Chodesh.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it's about time.
Yes.
All right. So we'll tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Tomorrow's Erev Shabbos. Bleen Neder. Tomorrow we'll do something on the parsha, and we'll continue with these halachas. If Mashiach doesn't come and they're still relevant on Yom Rishon, we'll continue with these halachas.
Okay. Very good.
Fine. Everyone should have a good day. We'll see you all tomorrow, Mitzvah Shem.
And if
Okay, be
Mashiach
well.
comes, what will we do instead?
Oh, We'll ask Mashiach what we should do, and he'll tell us. Whatever he says will be just fine by me.
Okay,
Okay, he's
Agreed.
going to be giving personal audiences to millions of people who are going to be asking him questions. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I hope I have a chance to makabel panim and ask him questions.
Amen.
Okay, be
thank
well.
you, Rabbi.
Thank you. Have a good day. Shalom.
be
Bye
well.
now.